Well, I mean, obviously the first order of business is congratulate Murray State. They were the better team tonight. They did a good job on both ends of the floor. They're hard to guard. Particularly did a good job of getting the ball inside in the second half often, and we could not get that stopped. And then when you've got that on top of trying to corral Morant, then we just weren't good enough defensively to get enough stops. And offensively, I did a really poor job of trying to put us in position to get good shots. We sort of had to change offensively what we do most when Nick Muszynski got hurt, and that's not an excuse. It's just we had to go to different kinds of things, particularly because it works so well up at Murray State, and they guarded it good. They guarded our ball screen stuff good, and I thought we got hurried and didn't make good decisions. But really, it's my job to get good shots as the coach, and I didn't do a very good job of that. So Murray State is a really good basketball team and deserve our congratulations and best wishes going forward. I didn't think we had any chance last year. We didn't even get an at-large to the NIT, so I knew we didn't have any chance. What I think doesn't matter. What I think doesn't matter at all. The committee will do the best job that they can do to pick the teams, and if we're one of those, we'll be on the plane or wherever we go. But I think we have to trust the committee to make the right decisions on that, and I think we would be on the list that they would consider. Probably remember it better than me. I don't recall. I do recall that Nick Hopkins got a really good shot that would have tied the game up, and it didn't go in, and then they turned right back around and made a huge one when we tried to run off and double Morant when he was isolating us and we weren't getting him stopped, and they made one there, and that just seemed like the miss-make. Well, it just went from right in there to, I mean, it would have been tied if Nick makes his, and next thing you know, we're down 6. And then, I think we all know it wasn't a 12-point game, but we had to try to press, we had to try to foul, and they finished the game well. They're a good defensive team. We've scored a lot of points this year, and sure, it's part of it's because we had a guy inside that scores it good and passes it good from inside, but this game and the Purdue game were the two toughest games to score that we've had all year long.
It's tough when you don't see some fall early. I always try to keep shooting. They were going to fall eventually. I know that. I think I did a pretty good job of staying patient. I let my teammates get going too. Kept feeding Kevin when he was scoring. So I just tried to feed off that, get some offensive rebounds, try to feed off that. But, yeah, it's basketball for you. My shot felt good. Some of them didn't fall that I wanted to, that should have. And like I said, that's just basketball.
He's a really good basketball player, and he did get hurt up there. No one knows how much it affected his game except him. He didn't finish as well at their place as he did tonight. He made some pretty spectacular makes tonight that it obviously is because he shot it up, but he looked like he threw it up there and it found a way to go in 3 or 4 times, and that's the kind of player he is, and that's why everybody's crazy about watching him play. I really thought, particularly at halftime, I think he had 5 or 6 turnovers, and I don't think that they had how many points they have at halftime? 26. I thought we did a really, really good job of that. But the difference was, I thought, them going inside to start the second half. We just couldn't guard their big kid, and we tried a bunch of people, and we got Seth in foul trouble, and then we had to do some things differently on offense again because of that, and so and they did a great job. They did a really nice job. We did a poor job. We weren't supposed to help off other people on him, and he made passes to their 4-man cutting, other guys cutting. They just, they played well. They played better than we did. And even with all that being said, we were right there when Hop's shot didn't go in, and then theirs did. Not much. Seth overall is a better defensive player. Seth's really good at being a post player who has to jump out in front of Morant and try to keep him corralled a little bit till his man can get back to him. Seth's really good at that, much better than anybody else we have. So I thought we would be better defensively, but Seth wasn't able to guard Cowart, or however you say his name, pronounce it. Again, I'm not going to campaign at all. I think that when you look, we don't have a ton of chances at those good quadrant wins, but we do have quite a few, and so I would hope they'd see that the chances we had, we got a lot higher percentage than some of those people in the middle of the big conferences. Percentage-wise, ours is much better. I mean, we won 26 games, lost 5. When I looked at that schedule at the beginning, I thought 20 would be a heck of a good year with a team as young as we are. So the hardest thing that committee has to do is compare a good mid-major team with a middle-of-the-pack Power 5 team. And I just can't tell them how to do that. It's not my job, and it's hard to do. I think this league, it was kind of a funny year because there's 4 teams really good, better than any 4 of any conference we've been in, I think. But the teams below that were we didn't lose to anybody below that, for example, and Murray didn't either. So it's easier than going through the SEC or the ACC where the teams that are 7, 8, and 9, or even 5, 6, and 7 are just going to be tougher outs. And I'm proud that we did all that, and some people lost to some of those teams. But so to be 16-2 in this league this year with this team, I'm as proud as I can be, and that means we've got a really good basketball team. How that compares with the other people that are going to be in the bubble, whatever you say, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard for sure. Put in a lot of work, not only over the season, but before the season. So it's unfortunately it comes down to one game at the end, win or lose, win or go home. So but I'm proud of the way we fought. I'm proud of the way our guys responded through adversity. It's a hard atmosphere to play out there. They have a really good crowd. They're loud, they're energetic, and when they get on a run, it's hard to stop that. So I'm proud of the way we fought. I think we left everything out there, and we don't have too many regrets. We know, it's not a guarantee at all, and it might even be a long shot. So we weren't even thinking about that. We came into this game thinking we got to win to get to the tournament, and we played our hearts out. I think we played well. I wish we could have hit more shots, but we weren't really thinking about that. We knew we had to win this game, and we tried. He was pretty emotional today. I know it beat him up a little bit. He wanted to be out there. He's a tough kid. I knew he would be out there if he could. If you've seen his ankle, it's not pretty. It looks like a softball's in there. So I know it's hard. I know that he would have been out there if he could. So, it's disappointing for him. I know he's a little upset, but he'll be all right. Yeah, I think it was pretty unlucky. I think it was, under 4 minutes in the game last night. It was a freak play. I don't even know if there was much contact. I think he just came right down on it by himself. So pretty unfortunate, I'd say. He hasn't been injured all year. He's played in every single game. So for that to happen to us, it is unfortunate, but it's not an excuse. We still had a really good chance to win the game.
No. This morning, it looked like he wouldn't be able to, and Kim, our trainer, worked on it, but it never got any. It got worse looking instead of better looking, and just no chance that he could have played. So we went through our shoot around in our preparation I went through it entirely with the idea that he wouldn't play. So we had time to think about what we needed to do differently, and we started the game exactly that way. We got a good ball screen and roll, and he got fouled at it, and I thought, man, this is going to work great. Yeah, why did he go 10 for 15 last night and 9 for 9 against us? It's just not fair. This is not a fair game. you know, he is one of those guys that draws calls when he gets fouled and draws calls when he doesn't get fouled. It's just the way some guys play the game, and it's okay. I'm not criticizing anybody. I sure wouldn't want to have to try to see whether when he goes in there and all that sort of comes off his body in all different directions, whether he got fouled or didn't get fouled. It's tough. I'm sure the officials, if they were allowed to say so, would say he's a hard guy to officiate, and it can get frustrating because he's the guy that had the ball in his hand the whole time, and he was going to drive at the end of the shot clock, and he's a great basketball player. There's no question about that. He's an exciting player, and you know, it's so odd because last year he was almost an afterthought to us in this game a year ago. We were going to go under all his ball screens, let him shoot threes, and the other two guys they had are the ones that beat us, and now he's turned into a sensation.